Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 19th of November. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we did around about 50% retrace into yesterday's highs there. Some Ichimoku cloud resistance sitting bang into where it hit there as well, so a bit of a resistance kick in there. Since that point, well, nothing particularly confirmed here. If we break the lows of that previous 4-hourly buy, it will give us a lower high potentially. I was just looking at this chart on the euro really, and you can just see how the volumes have fallen away effectively over the period of the last couple of weeks, and well, don't really need to see that the volatility has fallen away over the last couple of weeks, and certainly the volume has. Let's just switch that across there. Anyway, so where to for today? Well, we still have the weekly pivot untouched now. Maybe a big ask to get down that sort of way with the sort of volatility we've seen of late. Just looking at that's at 10.32 yesterday. I thought it might be a bit more of a chance, a better chance certainly when it's closer and it was diverging and everything else, but there we are. So it's pitched up, pushed that high in there. A break of that may give us a sort of a target over a couple of days of that sort of level, but of course then you've got the key moving averages coming up to give support, so even if it doesn't really get back down to that level, it may just get back to the 60-minute 50, just watch it around that sort of area. But by the time it's done that, of course, then it has confirmed some weakness in the market. So double-edged sword really here. It's really what it can do from where it is. Okay, so my preference, I mean, on the euro, I'm still bearish on it in the bigger picture. I still think it's very weak fundamentally, but technically, well, arguably, it's trying to change course at where it is. So it sits me on the fence a little bit until it shows its hand, maybe. The pound, on the other hand, it's been much more bullish in the main with this sort of more solid push up over the last week or so. Although I say solid, it's solid-ish. It's not the easiest one to really determine the gain, and it's a similar picture that we got here on the shorter time frame, though. Whether it's going to pitch over a little bit. Its weekly pivots way down there. Wasn't really looking so much for it yesterday with it, but well, any sort of sell-off could see it move towards that. But for now, just technically, maybe it will retrace back towards its 50 as well. And it's such a similar picture really to what we're seeing with the euro here. So a bit of sitting on the fence, but a bit more bullish on it, more so. Already caught a daily pivot today, so maybe yesterday's highs, the R1 looks like a favoured one post 8 o'clock. Okay, dollar yen. He says dollar yen, right? So dollar yen, let's just get the dailies. There we go. So dollar yen, right? So yeah, had been obviously with the risk off and the money been coming in, risk back on, pushed up. Bit of a bitty day in the end yesterday. It does look like, well, there's some potential upside from where it's kicking here. It's put this sort of hammer in effectively, pitching back up all over its weekly pivot at the moment. Today, well, the daily pivot's sitting above there, which may just draw it, and it may draw through that. It hasn't caught anything else. It's diverged at the lows here, and if anything, looks a bit more like it could pitch up towards its 6200 daily R1 sort of area. Bit bitty, but if the risk is back on, this could push back to the upside. As I say, bitty old day yesterday as it sort of switched midday there. Okay, one thing I'd say is there's a certain lack of clarity in some of these. The pound seems the best to the upside if it occurs at the moment. Aussie dollar, so we had news overnight with the Aussie dollar. not a great deal of stuff going on there. What we're pitching through here, we had the minutes out overnight where they've already suggested they will be as bearish or accommodative as necessary. The Aussie really hangs on a decent deal between Trump and China and the US, and it's sort of hanging there waiting. Obviously those minutes confirmed overnight that they're willing to help where necessary, further reduce rates if necessary. At the moment though, we're getting a half decent bounce. Daily pivot's not far ahead now. It's already hit the S2, S1. It's range wise, as you can see from previous days there, it's probably pretty limited within that level. On a tight old day after yesterday's range, maybe it will get up to yesterday's highs at some point if it can push on through this way, but as I say, it is quite limited there. I will look at the Canadian dollar just out of defiance. Now the Canadian dollar, it's another one where there's certainly weaker signs within the Canadian dollar, but we'll see how it pushes through. Here at the moment it's sort of this bull flag almost on the 4 hourlies dailies picture, but if it carries on rolling over like this, it's no longer a bull flag. Did connect with the underside of the weekly pivot there yesterday. It's really a case of if it changes tune here. Very choppy at the moment. Yesterday it tried to break through, but ran back. Just ran through the trend line, which is running across the highs there. From where it is at the moment, a break of the early morning high there would confirm a high low, and maybe a bit more continuation in that move, but struggling with the lower highs, lower lows. I guess we really should be selling into the strength or any movements to the upper side there at the moment, but they have pretty much all been done. We've had the 50 hit a couple of times, 34 a couple of times, and 3 times maybe retested here, and you just wonder whether it will break up in the next push. Okay, that's Canadian dollar. New Zealand dollar, still looking towards the bullish side rather on this. Expecting further upside in the bigger picture, that is. They've held solid, but a lot of the signals here probably suggesting weakness or further consolidation, which is possibly the case. I mean, yesterday's range was so tight. I mean, I think it can't be much more than 10-12 pips most of the day. Today we sort of found support eventually off that monthly pivot there. Weekly even. It could be pitching up from here at long last. It's looks like quite a sound movement there. So if that's on the midnight bar actually earlier on through the Asian session, so we could see further upside. I was looking for that as a little add into a long that I'm starting to put on this. As I say, I'm sitting there quite bullish still on the New Zealand dollar. They've been a bit more tougher and they're more bullish from the central bank point of view. I think there's potentially more upside on that basis. Okay, that's pretty much it today. News wise, Tuesday we've already had the monetary minutes from Australia. We got some at 1:30. We got manufacturing sales from Canada, and the US building permits are not very much there at all, really. So quite a quiet day again technically, but we are leading into loads of minutes later on in the week. So on Wednesday, Thursday. So have a great one. Bye for now.